Hi guys, welcome to the Tech Career Booster channel. My name is Josh Ballardine, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some cheap or faster ways to actually learn how to code, to learn how to become a software developer, how you can learn that quicker or cheaper than traditional ways. So if you are keen to learn and become a software developer, stay with me and get some quick tips on how to get it faster. Some of the courses I'm going to show here, they are not for free, but they are very cheap if you compare to the normal market course. And in the other hand, some other of them, they're actually quicker than if you go to the traditional way of doing a TAFE course or a uni degree. But before we dive in that, I want to tell you guys why it's important to learn the essential things instead of doing a long-term course, or instead of doing something you're gonna waste time on. When I become a teacher back in Brazil a while ago, I started teaching in a course similar to TAFE. It was a vocational course. And the reason why I started there was because I was hiring people. I had a team already of devs, and I was hiring junior devs. And when I was hiring those guys, most of the guys coming from the TAFE, not TAFE in Australia, but at that point in that course, those guys coming from there, they didn't know the basics. They didn't know like small things we needed in the team at that point. For example, we were building websites, and the guys coming from that course, they didn't know how to build a contact form. Like just fill up a few fields and send a contact form. They didn't know that. So my reaction to that was, okay, I have to go to the uni and see what these guys are doing there. So I knocked the uni's door and I asked the course coordinator, look, why I'm getting these students here as a trainee, as a junior, and they don't know the basics, what you guys are teaching here? And then they just said to me, we are in a shortage of teachers. We need some more people and different people here. Do you want to come to teach? And that's how I became a teacher. Then obviously I studied education, and I've done like a full degree on that. So I have a computer science degree and an educational degree. So then I started to teach in the uni. But yeah, that was the reason I started. And the reason why I told you guys that, it's because I want to tell you what's important. More important than having a diploma or than having any certificate is actually knowing what you are doing. If you don't know what you are doing, if you can't resolve the problems, it's going to be hard to find any position. You're not going to find a job if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm telling you that because you should value more your knowledge than your certificate. And what I've been seeing is most of the students, they give more value to the certificate, to the diploma, than actual the knowledge. You should be focusing in the knowledge, not in the certificate. And that's the reason why I'm bringing these tools to you guys today. Those tools, in my opinion, they are the better way to actually get the knowledge, not the certificate. Some of them, they offer certificates, but you are not here trying to get a certificate. You are here and try to get the knowledge. So let's dive deep into it. What we were going to see here today is why I call them different from the market, because what are the normal ways to actually learn? You can either go to a TAFE course, you can go to the uni. Those courses, they are long-term. In TAFE, you're going to take 2 years, 2.5 years. In the uni, you're going to take 3 years, 3.5, 4 years, depends on what you were doing, to actually become a software developer. And if you don't have the time, if you are changing career, you don't want to wait 2-3 years to actually start to work in the area, you have to make it that quicker. So what's the other alternative you have to make that quicker? You can actually do a bootcamp. But a bootcamp, in the essential thing of the bootcamp, It's going to take you 2-3 months, and you're going to basically you're going to be working full-time in the bootcamp. You're not going to be working anywhere else, so you have to have the time to actually do that. And they are bloody expensive. Most of the bootcamps, they're going to charge you 10, 12, 15, 18, 20 grand. I've been seeing bootcamps for more than 20 grand already, and I think it's a huge amount of money which you don't have to spend. There are cheaper ways to actually learn, so that's why I'm bringing this research to you guys. The first one I want to show you, some coding bootcamps online. They offer the bootcamp, but you can take your time and do that in your pace. So you don't have to invest 20, 30, 40 hours per week in those bootcamps. You can do that in your pace. If you do like 10 hours per week, 12, 15 hours per week, that should be enough. So what I'm going to do here, guys, we're going to be talking about these coding bootcamps, and the first one I want to show you is FreeCodeCamp. I'm going to be sharing my screen so you guys can see that a bit easier. First tip, FreeCodeCamp. Don't worry with the links. I'm going to leave all the links in the comments below. So don't worry taking notes of that. FreeCodeCamp is basically a platform with different courses and different things, and you can do any sort of bootcamp, or you can learn a variety of courses here. Let's get the resource, and let's say you want to learn the catalog. Let's say you want to learn web development. So if you go web development, you're going to see like the full path, everything, all the courses they have, and everything you can actually learn to learn software development, to learn web development. So these are all the courses they have. They have full stack engineer, front end engineer, back end engineer. Anyway, you can have all of that almost for free. Some of these are for free, and some of them they are for a very cheap price comparing to any presential course. So if you come here, for example, for individuals, they're going to charge you $18 per month, 35 if you pay monthly. I think it's American dollars. Don't be fooled, it's not Australian dollar. But anyway, it's still cheap. Like, you're not going to find anything cheaper than that everywhere else, and they are very good quality course. So definitely I do recommend FreeCodeCamp. They have very good course, and it is a quick way to learn, but they're not the only ones. We also have free bootcamp, or FreeCodeCamp, sorry. Let's get to there. FreeCodeCamp is another platform where you can learn. These guys, they are a non-for-profit company, organization, sorry, and they provide a completely full course for free. That's in their name, it is for free. And you guys can believe that. You're gonna find a very good quality course here. Let's try to find something. You can find, they call certifications, but as I was mentioning before, don't worry about certifications. You can learn here, and that's more important. You can learn back-end stuff, front-end stuff, database. So if you go to there, you're going to see all the course and all the details they have. And then you can, obviously, you have to register, but you can start the project. That's an interesting way to actually learn, because you're going to have very similar to the boot camps, but you're going to do that online and at your own pace. The other one I want to show you guys, next one, is actually Dash. And Dash is a platform from General Assembly. General Assembly is a regular school, similar to TAFE. They actually have boot camps, they have courses and normal classes, like presential classes. but they also offer this platform called Dash, where you can learn to become a web developer. This one is more specific for web development. And in this one, you can learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript basically for free. So if you just register yourself here and start a course, you can learn how to become a web developer for free. These three, they are the sort of boot camps online you can do. But other than the boot camps, you also can have online education platforms, which are similar, but they are not the same as the boot camps. So what online education platforms are? We have, for example, Coursera, and Coursera, they provide some specializations and degrees. They have partnerships with unis, and they offer, let me get back to my screen, and they offer certificates and degrees in partnership with unis. Some of them are for free, some of them you have to pay a little fee. If you have here, you can even do a full computer science degree from University of London, for example. You can have master of business, or you can do other masters or online degrees. It depends on what you want. You can do it all through Coursera, and obviously it's a way cheaper than doing a normal degree. Also, not most of them, some of them you can do for free, and you just have to pay if you want your certificate. So in platforms like Coursera, Coursera is not the only one, but in platforms like Coursera, you can do a full degree and for free. And if you don't want the certificate, you don't have to pay anything. Or if you want a certificate, you're just going to pay for the certificate. But again, it's a way cheaper than paying 15, 20 grand per year on your degree. So if you're going to take 3 years degree, you're going to spend like $50,000, $60,000. It's just a huge amount of money you don't have to spend. We do have platforms like Coursera where you can go and learn. Also, you can go to a short courses platform like Udemy. Sorry, it's not Udemy, it's Udemy. But it is supposed to be like a funny stuff. Like they create the name to say Udemy, do that course. So that's why they're called Udemy. And yeah, they have a short course about almost everything. So if you look here, game development, you're gonna find a course about game development. You're gonna find course about, and as you can see, they're pretty cheap, even in Australian dollars. That's the price for the whole course. So complete C# Unity game developer 3D, learn C# for game development. You can have many courses. Obviously, they are shorter course, and they are about a specific thing. So in this platform, you're not going to have like a full career path. In this platform, you're going to have some courses about specific technology. The down for that is actually you have to know what you want. So you have to know what to search for. For example, if you want to learn Flutter, I'm going to search for Flutter, and then I'm going to learn how to create mobile apps, for example, in Flutter. So again, you can see pretty cheap course. Obviously, you have to be guided by the stars and how many people have done that course. 50,000 people have done this one, for example. It's a huge amount of people, and they are giving like 4.5 stars, which is pretty cool, pretty good. You have to be checking that. Don't be fooled in the course without many people doing. It can be a bit tricky because this platform, it's an open platform. So basically everyone, you can do a course if you want. So you can actually record the videos, do a course, and put in platforms like Udemy. So don't be fooled with like bad course. You should be checking the rating and how many people have done that. But it's another pretty cheap and quick platform. And depends on the time you have, you can do the course in 1 day or 2 days. Like you can see here, the course, it's total of 30 hours. You can do that in 2 days. 29 hours, 2 to 3 days if you don't sleep. You can do that if you want, but you don't have to. If you have family, friends, job, everything else to deal with, you can take your time and do that in your own pace. I think that's the best advantage of that. And also we have a sort of different concept of platform. It's similar to Coursera, which is UDX. EDX is a platform founded by Harvard and MIT, and they also have degrees or boot camps like this one, coding boot camp and things. They even have master degree, bachelor degrees, where you can actually do a full computer science degree here. As I mentioned, some of them are for free, some of them you have to pay, but it's way cheaper. And if you do a full degree here, you're gonna get the knowledge as is needed. So again, another platform and another tip for you guys. And these are all the platforms I had to you about online course. But you also have to check other things. For example, GitHub. GitHub is not a learning platform. GitHub, I mentioned before, it's a platform for version control using Git, but it's also a hosting for many open source projects. So they have many open source projects and many open source repositories where you can find code and find exercise and find things to learn from. So let's say if you get like open source, just search for open source, you are going to be finding very different open source projects. You can search for JavaScript Hello World, and you're going to find many Hello World projects, probably exercise, JavaScript Hello World, JavaScript exercise. On GitHub, you're going to find basically any sort of project you want to check the code, and the code is open. You can see their code. You can see how it was coded. You can see what's in there, and like you can basically learn from someone else's code. For example, this is a Hello World exercise in JavaScript, and I think it has a test on it as well by the looks of that. So you actually have the Hello World JavaScript file. It's just a Hello World. And you also have, I think it's a test file. Yeah, it's testing the Hello World. So basically it's an open world of things for you to search for and find code and find things. Another different way of learning is actually through communities. So after doing the course or while you are doing your course, you must have to go to communities and forums and learn, or just find the specific thing you are looking for, or if you are stuck in a piece of code which is not working, you can go for places like Stack Overflow, for example. That's a website you're gonna find very useful when you are coding some stuff. Whatever you were doing, when you hit some roadblockers, you're gonna ask questions. Even if you ask to Google, Google is gonna take you to Stack Overflow because it has a huge amount of response for basically everything. So if you come to here, Stack Overflow is a huge, I think it's the biggest community in the world. Have a look on how many questions they have, for example. 23 million, yeah. It's a huge amount of questions, and they are all answered here. So you can ask basically anything. For example, Flutter interface. It's gonna find the human verification. Yes, I'm human. And it's gonna find you building a UI interface with Flutter with list view, whatever. It has a piece of code, it has a question, and it has answers. Some of the answers, they are okay, some are not. Keep in mind it is a community. Not everything here is correct, so you have to be able to check what you are reading. But it is the biggest community and a very rich source of information. Another one similar to that is actually Reddit. Reddit is a like general community about everything. You can find anything on Reddit, but you have some specific communities about programming, learning programming. For example, this one is about learning programming. So people come here, ask questions. They have their, I do cheat when coding. You can ask questions and interact with the community here. And this is another big community where you're going to be finding very good response and help for whatever you are doing. Obviously, I don't have to mention, always be respectful with the community, read their guidelines. So there's a posting guideline for every community. So you should be reading the posting guidelines and things. Don't post things which are not authorized. But yeah, it's a very good source of information again. And the last community one, last but not least, it's Quora. Quora has a specific session about coding as well. They call that Quora Code. Even the link is just code.quora.com. And like, again, questions and answers, you're gonna find many things here. You can be asking basically everything you want about coding and software developer. They have specific things for languages as well. So feel free to come here and ask whatever you want. And if you want a sort of different way of learning, another way is actually through books and ebooks. It's all about how you feel better learning. Some people feel better watching videos. Some people feel they learn through examples. So it's GitHub and Stack Overflow, and Reddit. Those are the place to go if you learn by doing and making mistakes and trying to do again. So if you are more practical and hands-on, you're going to be doing some GitHub stuff in Reddit or GitHub and Stack Overflow, and that's going to be your way to go. If you are more the reader guy, if you prefer to get a book, especially like a physical book in your hands and read it, we have other publishers. I have very good publishers about the programming books and all developing books. For example, if you go to O'Reilly, I think it's O'Reilly. I don't know how to pronounce their name, but they are very interesting publisher. They have books, but they also have online courses and certifications. But you're gonna find like most of the top seller books, they were published by O'Reilly. Let me try to find some books from them. It's all about their course certifications. I'm not finding their books, course certifications, answers inside, but I'm pretty sure they have Many they are all training, community partners, and affiliate. But yeah, if you check their books, you're gonna find like very good quality books from O'Reilly. Another publisher, which I do recommend to you guys, is Apress or Apress. I'm not sure how to pronounce their name as well, but they also have cool books like these ones. These ones are right in the front page. They are just a publisher, different from O'Reilly. They have course and books. These guys, they have probably just books. And yeah, you're gonna find books about everything. These guys, they are connecting the enthusiasts who wrote the books to the software development community who want to read those books. And that's again another really cheap and very effective way to learn. So if you buy a book and you go from beginning to the end, you're going to sort of become specialist on the subject of that book. Depends on the book, obviously, but you can see like the price of a book, 39 bucks, 35 bucks, 55 bucks. It's not too expensive, and it's probably pretty easy to buy. You can find books everywhere. Obviously, you don't have to buy from the publisher. You can even go to any place and buy a book or get from any library. If you have access to any library these days, it's not something people are doing all the time, but you know, it's easy to go there and get it. And the next one I want to show you, the last publisher, is actually Pact. Pact is another publisher with sort of books and training. So they have videos, books, and everything. And definitely, I do recommend their books as well. For example, this one, C#, Software Architecture, Learn Python. You know, they have many books. Become a Python analyst. So they are constantly publishing new books, and you can have book about everything, like programming. Yep, guys, these are the ones I had to you today. So basically, what I wanted to show you was many ways you can learn and you can get what's most important to me, which is the knowledge. It's more important than the certificate. And again, I'm not saying certificates are not important, but what I'm saying here is you have to know what you're doing, not just a certificate. If you get somewhere with the certificate, they may hire you because you have a certificate, but after you start, they're gonna see you don't know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably gonna be fired, or they're gonna replace you by someone who actually know. Most of the companies, they don't have the time to teach you. Even in the junior positions, they are expecting someone who already know something. They're not expecting an expert, obviously, but even in the junior positions or in the trainee positions, they are expecting people who learn and know the basics. If you don't know the basics, you're not gonna last anywhere. So you have to be pursuing to learn the basics before finding your first job. And these ways I just showed you, they are the quickest and easiest ways to actually get there without spending tons of money. You don't have to spend 30, 40, 50 grand in a uni degree. You don't have to spend 20, 15, 10 grand in a boot camp. You don't have to spend 2, 3 years in a course. So you can do that quicker. You can do that cheaper. You just have to invest the time to learn. All the research, they are available. You have research on the internet. You have research everywhere. I just showed you books. I showed you communities, and I showed you platforms where you can learn everything you want. With a bit of guidance, you can go to one of those platforms, start a course, buy a book, and do it all by yourself. If you put those research together, let's say you buy a book, start to do what the book says, go to a community like Stack Overflow, Reddit, and start to ask your questions in there. You can learn it by yourself without spending tons of money. and at your pace. And I hope your pace is quick enough to do in the time you want. Like my experience tells me, someone who doesn't know anything but take that serious and start to learn from the beginning, from nothing. If you don't know anything about that, but you start seriously learning that and dedicating hours per week, 10, 12, 15 hours per week on learning and interacting with the community, you are going to get there 6 months, 9 months, a year. I would say that's enough. You don't need more than a year to actually learn the basics and start working. That's it, guys. I hope this video was useful. Don't forget to leave your thumbs up and share that with someone who actually needs this knowledge. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.